Hello and welcome. Today I want to present these three different versions of grip shift, and I want to show you the difference between these three models and ultimately what is the best grip shift in my opinion. I'm not going to be talking about newer SRAM grip shifts. I'm just going to be talking about retro grip shifts, so 7 and 8 speed. There are now newer grip shifts that have been made since. They ultimately all work pretty much in the same way, though now you can get 9 speed, 10 speed, 11 speed, 12 speed, etc. So I'm going to present to you what I have on the table. This is the SRT 600, the SRT 800, and this is a Sachs Power Grip Wavey grip shifter that was released I think in 96, 97, 98. So just a little bit of history quickly. Grip shifts were first introduced and marketed towards triathlon cyclists, and they were used on their bar ends, and you would kind of click them around like this. They would eventually then enter the mountain bike market where they became very, very popular. Towards the end of the 90s, they bought Sachs, who also had a grip shift. I don't know if Sachs was having their grip shifts made by SRAM or if they had their own facilities to manufacture something completely different. They are definitely different on the interior in some way. So the other stuff on the table are these the replacement covers for the Sachs. These would be just clicked on. You have like 4 teeth where you push them on. There's different colors and versions. This is an older version. You'll have here the grip shift grips, and here there's a sun version, grips I think they call them. And then you also have here these plastic rings that you put in between the cover and the grip itself to avoid friction. So now for the difference between the shifters. For the SRTs, there are two versions. There's a 7 and an 8 speed. All of these shifters here on the table are the left side for the middle derailleur. I believe that's where you really see a big difference in between the actual shifters themselves. So the SRT 600, the shifter only has 3 clicks or only 3 increments. If you open this up here on that, we have to open up with the screw. I'll do that now. Okay, it's come off. And you can see here the teeth there, there's only 3 increments. There's also a spring. You can actually kind of bend that spring slightly to make it easier to shift. So globally, I'm not a big fan of these grip shifters. I really don't like them. So here on this side are the SRT 800s. The obvious difference is that they're see-through, and what's very well known is that the plastic of these becomes very brittle and cracks eventually. You'll notice on these that there's a lot more increments for the middle derailleur. So you can take the cover off of these SRT 800s, as you'll see here. There's loads of different color variations to choose from. The grip is slightly bigger than the SRT 600. For the SRT 600 you can remove the grip as well. I haven't seen that many color variations, but there's probably some. I'm not really looking. So you can see here that the molding is completely different. So finally, the reason why I was converted to grip shifts. Before I didn't like them at all. I didn't find the way that they shifted was very enjoyable. Sometimes even kind of hard on your wrists or your fingers, like just turning hurts your hands. These ones I really like though, and I use them now on my bikes. So these are the Sachs Power Grip Plus. They also had other versions later on, Sachs Neos, Centera, quartz. So there's two versions of 7 and 8 speed. The nicer versions will have the number on a dial on the interior, and so you only see one number at a time. On this version, they're on the exterior. This was like the lower end version, though they all function more or less in the same way. So what makes these better than the grip shifts? Well, for one, the covers are easier to take off, I find, but that's not the real reason. The real reason is that on the interior, you'll see there's that spring. SRAM now does that on their shifters. By the beginning, they didn't have that, I believe. So there's a spring that's loaded, and so when you're going to be shifting, this is going to pretty much help you shift up and down. It's going to make it easier on your wrist. Also, the plastic seems to be of better quality, although in this particular model, there's a issue that the tip of that spring there that was latched onto like a plastic that was sticking out, that's cracked, although the other ones I've got haven't got that issue. So I think this is just that this shifter was possibly left outside and became brittle, I don't know. Also, when you're shifting, so these have plenty of increments, and I think that's one of the advantages of grip shifts, is that you have that little bit of increment, which is great for chain line, as you can adjust the derailleur and avoid rubbing. It also gives you a smoother shift. Added benefit is or the difference at least between the SRAM grip shifts and the Sachs, is that the cable can be added through here instead of on SRAM. The 7 or 8 speed side, the cable's either put through a little slot right there. In fact, I'll show you. So there's a small slot there to push the derailleur cable through. And on the Sachs versions, both sides have this slot to be able to do a quick installation. Whilst on the SRAMs, you have to actually undo the left side to be able to put the cable through. Now there is a better version of the Power Grip Plus. The quartz and the plasma have a kind of like little lever that's right there. I have the quartz one, and it just basically allows you to adjust the hardness of the turn. Although frankly, I haven't noticed any difference when I put it up and down. It does absolutely nothing really for me. So take no notice of that. They're more expensive as well and harder to get. The only thing I will point out to you is this. I thought I knew everything about these models, and clearly I don't. In the magazines, I could not find any information on this, and I had no idea that this model could be a ESP version. I think it's that anyway. If you look here, it will say 7 speed for Sachs, non-dirt. Dirt means it's Shimano compatible. This is non-dirt, so that means it's non-Shimano compatible. Now, through the magazines, usually at this period, it was SRAM ESP 1.1 actuation, and for some reason, they have these shifters, which seems kind of odd, and it must be for ESP unless it's their old Aris shifting system that they had before, because I did notice on the other side, on the left side, it says 3-speed micro, and that micro, I've seen that written for their Aris shifters, so it's possible it was for that. I doubt it, but maybe. And it is in 7-speed, this version. Usually have ESP written on them. In fact, you can get the see-through SRTs in 2 versions. You can get the ESP version and the normal Shimano compatible version. So there you go. I think I've pretty much covered everything on these shifters anyway. So the best one is these Sachs shifters, except if you're going to get them in 7 or 8 or even 9 speed, make sure that it's not written non-dirt on the side. So thank you for listening. I hope I kind of covered everything and the reason why I think the Sachs shifters are the best ones out of the retro shifters anyway. Thank you for listening, and until next time, peace out.